is going on, Straight Talk Faithful? Your host, your boy, George Mackay, back in studio again today, pre-recorded as we do in these scary times. I am here today with a very special guest. Very excited to have him. In case you need a little bit of his resume, I'll run it off. Recently, since I've known him, he's become one half of the Crossbody Pro Academy Tag Team Champions. He is also the winner of the Impact Gut Check and the newest signee to Impact Wrestling. Please welcome the Shogun, Mr. Jackson Stone. How are you, brother?
Well. What's up, man? I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, no problem, man. The Straight Talk Faithful and myself appreciate you taking the time out for my podcast to have a great conversation about wrestling, especially in these times that we are experiencing in the world today. It's pretty, it's definitely a moment in history that I know my children will be studying when they read their history books 20, 30, 40 years from now. You know what I mean?
Man, most definitely. This is something that's going to be on the bookmarks for a long, long time. This is this whole period of this whole 2020 so far is going to be recorded for years to come. To be honest with you, in various ways. So it's a critical, pivotal time right now. Just hoping that I just want to send my love out to all the fans, everybody out there listening. Want you to know the show appreciates you and loves you. Stay safe, stay strong, stay patient, and just take care of yourselves.
Absolutely, that's all we can do in these times. But you know what? Let's get away from all the negativity and let's focus on some positivity.
Yeah,
you had big positivity come your way early on in 2020. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, you won the Impact Gut Check. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. That shows your hard work, your ability, your swagger, your just everything about you. Jackson Stone is definitely somebody to watch. When all this is said and done and all the smoke clears and everything gets back to regular business, you are definitely going to be somebody to watch. You were already somebody special in the couple times that I've seen you. So polite, so genuine, and just such a dangerous animal in the ring. But now, the fact that I could see you in the Impact roster, I mean, dream matches are coming out of my head. I mean, if we want to talk dream matches for a second, in the Impact roster, there's a couple I see. All right, let's talk. This is what I see for you. I see, all right, you let me know just right now, just go yay or nay or give me a well. Okay, here we go. I see you and Rhino.
Well.
I see you and Tommy Dreamer.
Definitely a well.
I see you and Brian Cage if he's healthy and back in just a dangerous match.
Oh man, I'm just gonna get a big Shogun for that one. So yeah, I'm down for all of that. To be honest with you, man, this has been a whole big lead up, just my entire journey from 4 years ago, starting at Mega to now. I'm so grateful just to be at this opportunity. Yeah, man, just to have this positivity flowing through. I can't wait to all this stuff clears. I can't wait to hit the ground running, and I'm already just prepping myself. Like, don't get me wrong, this hiatus is just making me more hungry. And it's making me hungry for the next challenge, make me ready for the next challenge. And I can't wait to just honestly, man, just prove myself. When I get to this next platform.
Oh yeah, I know you will. I know you're going to be a shining star very quickly. And I mean, just to run down a couple more dream matches. I mean, eventually down the line, depending on how long she holds it, you versus Tessa for that title. But maybe you got to go through Sami Callihan. Maybe you got to go through Madman Fulton. I mean, dude, the list of potential matches that you could have are just incredible. And with everything they're doing in Impact right now is so exciting. They are so far ahead of the curve on almost everybody. They're the first company.
Almost definitely.
Oh yeah, the first company to don a female heavyweight champion. Amazing. The first company to break down barriers, to and then to have two women, again, another history marker, to have two women facing off for the heavyweight title.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, it's a great time to be a fan, but it's also a great time to be a wrestler. And when you consider how hard you worked to get this opportunity, I mean, how grateful are you for this opportunity that you've been given? But I mean, you worked your ass off for it, don't get me wrong. But now that you have it, and that, you had to delay it because of everything going on, and like you said, it's making you more hungry. Are you just counting down the days so you can step in that Impact ring and just get going and start tearing it up?
Oh, like it's kind of like one of those moments when you see like a kid like right a couple of days before Christmas, and he knows or she knows that they're about to get like a bunch of good gifts that they've been asking for. They've been working hard to prove that they want them. That's how I am right now. I'm that kid before Christmas, and I'm so excited to just get this going. But I'm so thankful because it's not just of course my hard work is something that it's been paying off, but the support that I've had just to get here. Man, it's been Shogun has had a great support system. The biggest thing I've taken out of all this is just make sure that whenever you're pursuing something, like surround yourself with either like-minded people or just people who can just keep on teaching you, keep on giving you better life lessons, just keep on bettering you as you go on. And keep on feeding you that positivity because, man, like the road was rough, man, but at the same time, the journey was so amazing because of that support I had. I had people, not just from my family, but friends also backing me up. So and also the great support, of the fans. So every time I did any kind of suplex, when people were chanting Shogun or people were just chanting my well with me, it's just that whole thing just fed more fuel to that fire. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To keep going.
I do. So actually, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about the evolution or the origin of Shogun, where that character kind of became you. And let's talk about, everything from the look, the feel, the mask, the well, all of it. Where did it all start from? Was it something in the back of your mind that you worked up to? Or was that the kind of character you were going to go with the entire time when you started this journey?
Of course, the cliche thing they always say with wrestling is you turned up times 10. And for me, I mean, outside the ring, Shogun's very, very laid back, very relaxed, very calm. I try to keep things at a balance level. But the great thing about competition is it just heightens my adrenaline, and I've always been a fierce competitor, I like to call it. And I've always been somebody that's been hungry for just an ultimate challenge. Doesn't matter what it is, And the best part about it is just like the fact that somebody could beat me really makes me feel alive. And the fact that I know I believe in myself enough to beat that person makes me feel even more alive. And wrestling just brings that out because it's just so much put into that one package. And the fact that everybody gets to experience that with me is just great, But being Shogun is it's ultimately always been me. When I first started off wrestling, my name actually wasn't Jackson Stone. It was actually JF Chambers. And if you can find any matches on my on any YouTube channel, anything, any JF Chambers, you stumbled upon some lost footage. Let's just say that. But honestly, the switch to add I wouldn't even say the switch. I'm gonna use the word the embracing of Shogun, because it's something that I always feel like I've always been. It's just some of how do I display this in a way that everybody can understand it and feel it the way I feel, So honestly, it was just one of those things where it was one day I was just sitting and I was watching a lot of different martial arts films, and I love Enter the Dragon. I love The Game of Death. I love all the Donnie Yen films. I was raised on Jet Li and Jackie Chan, Drunken Master, all that stuff. And one day I was just chilling out, and I was watching the final movie I was watching was Afro Samurai. It's really, really great anime.
Yeah,
and
I own that. I own both, 1 and 2. I love that anime.
Oh, I was watching Resurrection. That's the one I was watching, and it was in that moment where I was like, oh, man, you know what? Let's just go with it. And I started playing some Wu-Tang tracks, and I started it was one of those things where, cutting promos, or, as people like to call it, I like to call it a art, kind of like resemblance to rapping. And it's one of those things where it's like poetry. You feel it, and whatever you feel come out, you just start spitting. And from there, I just kind of started developing my character through me talking. And then the more I started talking, the more I started developing myself more and more. And I started to find myself and embrace who I was. And I was raised, when I was a child, my father, he was my sensei, pretty much like all throughout my childhood while doing judoka. And pretty much if he was my sensei, his closest friends that he trained with while he was coming up as a teenager, became my senseis as well. And I embraced that, and I wanted to really start celebrating the grappling experiences that I have and the background that I have, along with the Japanese culture that I've always been immersed in, and the African culture that I hold dear to my heart as well. And I wanted to create that and just become a final boss, if you will.
Yeah, you definitely are a final boss,
and
man.
that's what Shogun is.
Yeah, no, you are. If I worked my ass off 36, 40 hours to get to the end of a video game, and you were the guy standing in front of me, I'd probably look at I'd probably just put my controller down and be like, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to walk away because it's not worth it, man. No, but you know what?
That's all right.
I know it's true, buddy. You know what you are. You are very humble. You are very approachable, and that's one of the things I love about doing the podcast thing. I mean, I don't make any money off of this. I don't pay you to come on the show. It's all just volunteer.
Right.
We hook up, we get together, we have a conversation, and it goes out. And I just love sharing this world, this amazing world that I've grown up and immersed my entire life. And I've been a fan I'm 36 years old now. I've been a fan literally for 35 years. Probably since I was 1 year old.
Wow.
Maybe even out of my mom's womb. I have no idea. But it was just...
out the gate.
Out the gate, 100. I came out with a rock eyebrow and a beer can in my hand. That's the way I look at it.
I love it.
But you know, it's when you can meet people, because whenever I'm trying to get somebody in the show, I always want to make sure they're easily approachable. I don't want to approach them or like sound off like an ex-girlfriend that I'm stalking them and stuff like that. I just want to be able to have an interview and share their stories with my fan base. And you were probably one of the easiest. It took a little bit for us to get there because of everything that was going on in the world. But now that we're sitting down, it was well worth the wait. We're only like not even a quarter through this yet, and I'm already having a great time because that's who you are. You are entertaining as hell in and out of the ring. And for any of my Straight Talk faithful, that's what I call my fan base. Any of them don't know, by the end of this interview, they're all going to know your name. And when the world gets back to regular business, they're going to have a lot of new fans. If they're not already fans of Impact, there's going to be a lot of new fans tuning in just to check you out. So... not to put too much pressure on your shoulders.
Great words.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. I'm a wordsmith. You know what I mean? That's why I started my own radio show, so I could have a platform where I could just talk and listen to the sound of my own voice.
And you know, whether it's therapeutic or just for your own reasoning, honestly, bro, I appreciate it so much because us as wrestlers, it's great to have platforms to be able to just tell the fans what's up and just let them know what we have going on. So, yeah, man, like, really, again, thank you for those kind words. I appreciate all the support also you've always shown at all the Crossbody shows, man. That's been a ride, you know, and the crazy part about it is, like, right before the Impact thing, you know, me and Blake 182, shouts out to my partner, we won the tag titles, man. It's just like, it just felt so, it was like on cloud nine. So thank you so much, man, for all that support from there as well.
Well, that was a great match, and that was a little bit of I'll be honest with you, it was a little bit of a heartbreaker for me because I love you and I love Blake, but I'm a big Empire, I'm a big Empire fan,
Oh, no, I understand.
And when my boys lost, I was like, you know what, I'm kind of happy that they lost it to these two young cats, because I know when the rematch happens, the rematch is going to be just as electric as the original match. So when it comes back, when they come, you know, you guys have to kick it up though, right? Because the first match was just all kinds of energy, all kinds of speed, all kinds of strength, that you're definitely going to have to add another element to the rematch. So I actually wanted to propose an idea to you. This is what I'm thinking.
Ooh.
I'm not a promoter, and I mean, Ben Ortmans is a friend of mine, but I know he likes to run his shows his way. But just as a hyped up a second for this one, when the four of you get together in a ring again, I think it should be a Falls Count Anywhere. I think it should be a tornado tag, Falls Count Anywhere. Because I think you four would do something special. I mean, as small and intimate of a venue as Crossbody is, there was a lot of areas that are very untouched. And if you guys were to tap into those areas, like the back corners, work into the crowds, maybe even if it's a summer day, fight out into the parking lot and all the fans kind of burst out of their chairs and run out of the parking lot. Man, I would love to see that. I don't know if it's possible, but I would love to see that.
Shogun's down to suplex anywhere. And I know Blake's down to leap, doing a good frog splash off of anything. So we're down for it, man. And, you know, shouts out to Empire. You I understand that was fierce competition, man. But Roy and Matthew, man, they bring it. So, when this whole thing clears up, we're down for it.
Oh, 100%. I know they are too. They're probably licking their chops to get their titles back. But now you are the reigning, defending tag team champions. And let's talk about, because you're a mixed bag right now. You're a tag team wrestler with you and your partner Blake, who's another amazing talent. And if he's listening and he's enjoying this interview, Blake, hit me up. We got to get you on the show too. But
yes, most definitely.
Absolutely. But I mean, you do tag team and you do singles. And like I said, you are a powerhouse. Your character is fantastic. And there really is an element to your character that can go dark. It can go heel if there's ever an opportunity to. Now, right now, you're a face. I'm not sure how Impact's going to play you. But if the opportunity presents itself to be a heel were to arise, would you take that? Or are you kind of content in being a face right now?
You know what? Honestly, the whole point of Shogun is I'm trying to win. Honestly, I want to suplex at everybody. I want to find that ultimate challenge. So if that person happens to bring out a little more fury in me, then so be it. So for right now, I'm riding the wave of what goes on, with what's going on right now. But if Shogun happens to get a little aggressive, it is what it is at that point.
And I would be okay with that, because when you're relaxed and having fun, you're dangerous. When you're aggressive, I don't even want to know. I'm a big fan of Asian influenced films as well. When I studied film school, one of my favorite films of all time, I actually own it on the Criterion Collection. Clips of it have been featured in all kinds of movies. Most recently would be the Bodyguard. That's one of them. The reason I know that is because my wife and I just watched that, but you know where I'm going with this. I'm talking about Akira Kurosawa's The Seven Samurai, which is hands down probably one of my all-time favorite films. I mean, that end sequence alone, that battle at the end, and then literally getting both arms cut off and walking away like a G. Fuck, sign me up and take my money, man. That's an iconic sequence, man.
Yes, truly legendary. Not to mention how influential that whole movie was to martial arts films and Western films.
Oh, 100%. That literally rewrote the book on how to tell a story. I mean, and you also mentioned, like, Bruce Lee. I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. Enter the Dragon's probably one of my favorites, but another honorable mention for me would have to be they featured the sequence in the Bruce Lee Dragon story that they did, but it's the I believe it's called The Big Boss or the Boss or something like that. I haven't seen it in forever.
I believe it's Big Boss. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, that's a really good movie.
Oh, I love that movie. I mean, Bruce Lee himself, I think he lost a step or two when he kind of went Hollywood for a little bit and he did the Green Hornet stuff. Right. I feel like he lost a step or two, but even introducing us to David Carradine in the Kung Fu, and then Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. I mean, Asian influence is hands down so featured in a lot of films, and a lot of people don't realize that there's sequences, and their whole film side of things, what they're doing now, is still incredible. Like, one of my favorite movies, Spike Lee did a remake. I didn't really like the remake too much, was Old Boy. Old Boy is probably hands down one of my... Oh, yeah, that one's great. And also, honorable mention would be Itchy the Killer, Battle Royale. I mean, that whole... I know what each one is kind of from a different... You got Japanese, Chinese, you got South Korean, all that kind of stuff. But all those movies, the way they tell stories, how different they really are. It really pulls you into a completely different world, like most films should. But I find that the Asian influence definitely speaks to me a lot more than just westernized action, because Asian influence films, they go over the top. You know what I mean? It's just that little bit of extra spice. It's like going to KFC and ordering a spicy chicken and getting it turned up to 10. You know what I mean?
Exactly what it is. And you know, I love that you mentioned that over the top. I love that, because you see certain, things like Johnny Woo films, or you even see Donnie Yen and Jet Li had a wonderful fight. I think it was in the movie Hero, when all their fight was just it was just them thinking the entire time. But it was to music, and it was just all well done. And then when they went back to real life, like to the current time, that's when they just went right at it. It was all in one strike that the fight happened. And I'm just like, I just love that Asian influence. Sometimes I feel like it's able to tap a certain type of emotions that the American film or Western film industry just hasn't been able to sometimes. You know, like you mentioned, Old Boy, and just the feel of the feel of desertion in that film. Oh my gosh, and the feeling of fighting for your life in that film is so prevalent in the Japanese version.
And then you watch the Spike Lee version, and it loses a step or two. It was a great version, but it does not compare to the original in any form or aspect.
Right.
Josh Brolin did great, but it just doesn't compare. It doesn't compare. It loses a lot.
Brolin.
No, Brolin, man, come on. I mean, he's Cable. You gotta love Brolin. You know what I mean, Josh?
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man.
If we're gonna talk Josh Brolin for a second, we got to talk about the Goonies. I mean, he was the whole.
Oh, the Goonies.
Oh, come on, man! I just watched that the other day with my kids. I love the Goonies. That's one of my all-time favorite kids movies.
Also was a really great actor. A really good actor. I was just watching. He kind of reminds me of him and Josh Brolin, kind of the same style sometimes. Ron Perlman.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, very good, but also very underrated. A lot of people don't really.
Very, very underrated.
Very underrated. And you know what? That's the problem, because this actually segues. See, you and I are clicking so well. It's almost like we're brothers from a different mother.
It's happening, man.
So, in Hollywood, it's very oversaturated. You can get lost in the shuffle very quickly, much like the wrestling business. Right now, it's a great time to be a wrestler. I mean, not right this second, but ending of 2019 into 2020, wrestling was gaining huge popularity. Again, it was still popular in the indie scene, but it was becoming more prevalent in pop culture with AEW showing up, with Impact kind of rebranding and getting signed to Access and opening up their, media reach. WWE is there. It has its ups and downs, as everybody knows. And as wrestling fans, we all bitch and complain, but it never gets changed, so it is what it is. And then you got NXT. You got, like I said, AEW. You have Ring of Honor with everything they were doing with PCO and Villain Enterprises. I mean, it was very pop culture. But it's hard nowadays, I find, for a young talent like yourself to stand out. But one of the things I think that sets you apart is your character. You figured it out very early on, and a lot of people don't really understand the character development. A lot of wrestlers are still trying to find themselves. But like you said, 4 years, and you figured it out. You figured out what you love, you incorporated it into your character, you found a way to turn it up to 10, and you went for it. And I want to ask, was there any original we talked about your original ring name. Was there any early incantations of Shogun that got kind of warped into what we see now? Or is what we see now the original cantation when Shogun appeared for the first time?
You know what, man? Honestly, you have fire questions. Shogun just wants to let you know how appreciative I am of your questions. But I would say, actually, this has been the exact incarnation you see of Shogun. What you see from the Suplex Shogun is what you get. I haven't changed, essentially. I've had certain slight of alterations to my outfit and my ring gear here and there. Maybe I wear my gi pants out sometimes here and there, but for the most part, I've always been the suplexing tornado lemonade fury that I've always been. To be honest with you, I'm beginning to incorporate more different animalistic martial arts into my actual repertoire as well. Like I'm working on incorporating more tiger and eagle-like strikes as well into my actual grappling, into my actual wrestling. So when we get back, hopefully you can see some new types of strikes from Shogun.
Oh, I can't wait for that, man. I can't wait for that. I just can't wait.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I just can't wait to see wrestling back in general. And you know that actually leads to
I can't wait.
That leads to one of my questions, because I mean I'm in Canada. You're out in you're in Michigan, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, there's two different kind of periods of what we're going through. Canada, we've experienced a little bit of an increase, but it's nowhere near where the U.S. is going right now with COVID-19. And your lockdowns are a little bit more sturdier. We're getting there now. We just incorporated the fines because we have some people who still aren't listening and paying attention and understanding the severity of what's happening. And, I mean, with you, and I see you taking the time that you have. If you're stuck at home, you might as well be doing all you can. And I see the workout videos and everything you're posting. Like you said, you're staying hungry and you're ready for when the gates are lifted. But what's one of the things about wrestling that you miss? I mean, you're not traveling right now. You're kind of situated at home. But if you could pinpoint one of the things, and it could be the smallest things, it could be a conversation with a wrestler in the locker room, a conversation with a fan after a match. It could be traveling in the car ride with Blake or whoever you travel down the road with. What is the one thing you miss the most about wrestling right now from a wrestler's perspective?
The anticipation of going to a show. Like I truly miss that. Just that again, just that feel beforehand of, ooh, I can't wait to go wrestle. You know, ooh, I can't wait to go to be in this atmosphere that I love and hold dear so much. Almost like church, if you will. You know, it's like a spiritual feeling. You know, whenever we all been at shows where, or witness shows where it's just hot. You know, just everything's firing all cylinders. The crowd's there, the action's there, the announcing's there, everything's there, and it's just amazing. And you know, I miss anticipating that. You know, so yeah. And another thing also too, man. I just miss adding. I just miss adding the emotion. You know, I just miss the emotion. That's all. And because wrestling is very emotional. It's a very emotional sport. It's a very emotional industry. So you know, whenever we get to go out there, it's almost like therapy. You know, it's almost like a chance to express who we are. And I miss that as well. So when we get back, oh man, best believe all the shows, every single show from all the way from Canada down to Texas, California, Michigan, New York, everywhere is going to be on and popping. And Shogun can't wait.
Well, we can't wait to have you back here. That's 100% for sure. I can't wait to see you and Blake again defending your titles at the next Crossbody show. And I can't wait to see you go deeper into the Ontario Indie scene. Sorry. We have a great scene out here in Ontario Indie. And I love sharing it. I love sharing it, but I also want to keep it a secret. But I can't keep it a secret anymore because a lot of people know about how fantastic it is because I've been repping it for 2 years. And I've met some amazing people, and now I get to add you to the list. Next time I see you, I'm going to have to grab an autograph from you so I can hang you on my wall. You got to be officially on the wall in the Straight Talk studios. But one question I do want to ask. Oh, I appreciate that. One question I do want to ask. Talk me through the gut check finale. So we all saw the video. I mean, we all saw the clip. If you watch, you watch it. If you haven't, you can check it out. I believe I actually saw the highlight clip on your Facebook page. So if you haven't seen it, you can check it. Probably it's definitely on Impact Access by now. But talk me through that moment when they announced you as the winner of the gut check. I mean, you could see the emotion in your face. It was so real. It was so candid. It was one of my favorite moments. I'm not gonna lie. I teared up a little bit. I did. It got me. I teared up a little bit. I did. I teared up. I looked at my wife and I said, "Man, that guy's a star. That guy's gonna be one of the biggest things to hit Impact when they reopen everything." But talk to me about that moment from your perspective. And don't talk to me as Jackson Stone. Don't talk to me as Shogun. Talk to me as the real you. What were you feeling like? 4 years, and then that final stretch through the whole gut check competition, and then you get crowned the winner. Talk to me about that moment.
Well, you know, I appreciate those tears because best believe I was definitely crying the entire time. So honestly, man, like that was just like you look at it, and I mean, like during that time, I was just thinking about literally the entire journey, just within minutes. Like Scott was talking, me and Tyler Turbo, who's amazing talent, amazing athlete, honestly, and amazing person too. We were just sitting there, Bravo's right there, and then they say, all right, we're filming it right now. Oh, okay. So we're there, we're in those lights, and it's like, you're there, you're at this moment, you're like, wow, all those road trips, all like the seminars, all the bumps, all the training, the headaches, the beginning doubt, just everything that, the what ifs, everything just kind of came all in one. And, just thinking about all the matches and all the training sessions I had, man, it just really rushed by. And then Scott's talking. He looks at me, looks at Tyler, and then he puts out his hand towards me. He says, he says, Jackson Stone, congratulations. And I can't tell you, like, the saying weight off my back just doesn't do it justice, because it just really felt like it was just one of those situations where I honestly, man, I felt like I was gonna drop for a second. Like, I was happy I shook Scott's hand, because I was a couple seconds away from dropping, because it was like, again, you put so much work into something that you care about, and you have so much passion for it, and you have so many visions for yourself in it, and just to go against a lot of what people will say, naysayers, a lot of just all the what ifs and everything that goes with it, and everything that comes in this business, man. Just to get to that point, man. Like, I'm feeling it right now, just because like it's just like a weight off my back, bro. But at the same time, there's like just a fire in my chest started to grow. Cause I'm like, hell yeah, now we're here, and it's just like, it's like getting to a playground finally. It's just like, oh my God, like I can let loose even more, and it's just one of those, it's just, I can't, just a fire in my chest, bro, that was burning. Especially when Bravo was saying, you did it. Like, just hearing those words couldn't be any sweeter, man.
100%. And everything you said, I felt it all over again. And it almost makes me want to hang up with you and go watch it again. No. But you know what?
I appreciate that, man.
You know what, man? I mean, I saw it from when I went to one of the showcase series. You came down on a Friday, and I got a really cool picture of you. That's the first time you and I ever met. And I got a really cool picture of you staring down your opponent. He had his mask on, you had your mask on, and there was that look of intensity. And there must have been, I don't know, maybe 30 people in the crowd. And then I saw you at that next Crossbody show where you took on Empire and you and Blake won the titles. And there was probably about close to 300 people in that crowd. But you know what I noticed about both times I saw you at those shows? It was the same amount of intensity, same amount of heart, like almost every indie wrestler does. You went out there like a true professional, and you delivered on so many levels. And it's something that you can really look back on, and you could say, that's how I know this man cares about this business just as much as I do. I mean, granted, I don't step in the ring like you do, but anybody that's willing to give me the time that steps in that ring and carries out that art form, I respect and I appreciate and I admire. But I can look at you and say the future of wrestling is in very, very capable hands, because you still got so many years ahead of you in your career. And one other thing I want to ask you. You talked about that amazing support system. You talked about how you had that surrounding yourself with positivity and great people, the influences of your dad, your senseis. Talk to me about that moment when they all saw you win the gut check. What was their reaction like?
Oh man, like my father, he just. I started wrestling after I graduated college, and I pursued wrestling after I graduated, and I essentially did that for my parents. I wasn't. It was one of those things where I was like, it's hit and miss, but all right, fine, I'll go through with it. And when I finished, I was so happy to see my parents, just the look on their faces when I graduated. So to get to this point and to be able to pursue something and just to let them know that I'm doing good and I'm pushing for my dreams. My father, he was just so happy. He was like, I'm so proud of you for sticking through and just pursuing your dreams, man. Like, to have conviction of yourself is a lot. And it felt good, man, just to have my dad just be proud of that. My mom, she was crying. My sisters were really proud of me after they made fun of me, of course. My amazing woman, my amazing girlfriend Sequoia, she was up in Ohio at the time. She was crying and she was very just proud of me, man, and just she's been an amazing support too. So it's just honestly, and also too, like also my one of my best friends, the third other half of the embassy is what me and Blake call it, Jamal King. He actually been at Crossbody before too. He was there with me as well, and just to have him there, he gave me the biggest hug, man, and he was just so supportive of me throughout that whole time, man. And he was like, "It's your time, bro." And just to have him say that, and dude, it's just it meant so much, man. It meant so much. And there's other people there too that over there, but I'm gonna keep them kind of. I'm not gonna pull the curtain back too much, but just you know who you are if you're listening. But one person I will say for sure, actually two people in mind, Scott and Bravo, Scott Demore and Johnny Bravo, man. Like Scott, he knows how to light a flame under somebody's ass, and Lord knows he did it. So again, just thanks so much for him just for trusting me to have me take this next step. And Bravo just for he knows how to push people, man. He just knows how to get the best out of us, and he knows what it takes because he's been in the business for 20 plus years, and just for him to put us under his wing and kind of coach us the way he did through the competition just means a lot. So I just thank them so much for that.
Absolutely, and the thanks are definitely to them because they're going to showcase you to the world. But the thanks to you for putting the work in. That's 100% for sure. Well, Mr. Jackson Stone,
no problem.
Mr. Jackson Stone, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go enjoy the rest of your night. And this was an absolute pleasure and an honor to speak with you. And I want to officially let you know now I can officially welcome you as a member of the Straight Talk family. Anytime you want to come back on the show, you got my number, I got yours, and we can do this all again.
Hey, Shogun's down for it, man. Anytime. Definitely. Let's do this again.
All right. You go ahead and enjoy the rest of your night, okay?
Hey, I appreciate you. Everybody, y'all take care, all right?
All right. Take care, my friend. Goodbye.
All right, man. Have a good one now.
Well, guys, what can I say? That was Jackson Stone, Shogun, the newest rising star in Impact Wrestling. And let me tell you something. When the world gets back to normal, he's going to make some serious, serious waves. As always, I'm your host, your boy, George Mackay. Thank you so much for listening today. And don't forget to tune in next week to find out what's on the socials. You got to follow. And as long as there are wrestlers out there that are willing to have conversations with me and share their stories, I will keep this thing going. Because in these uncertain times, what we all could use is a little bit of positivity. And I think sharing these amazing talent stories with all of you is something that I always will cherish. So stay safe, stay home, peace, love, and wrestling, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next week for another episode on Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Also follow us on Facebook at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling, and on Twitter at _Straight Talk. And for all our merchandise, you can search us on ProWrestlingTees.com.